Today we are speaking about words. Words are very important, as I can say, things. They carry power or they are powerless. So which words are kind of power words?
Words are actually one of the most misunderstood things, as we can say, in the world, because many people underestimate their power, and even the sayings that are giving words great importance are treated like, it's a wise saying, but so what, it doesn't have any bearing or meaning to my life and to my actually everyday behavior. But the opposite is true, because we are beings of relationships. We are beings that can create, because God created us in His image, and the whole world is created by words. So if we ask ourselves, what are the words? Word is actually a phase of something coming into reality from nothingness. First, there is a thought in someone's mind, someone's heart, maybe just a flash in your mind, in your soul, in your spirit that says, what if this or that came true? Or what if we could do things this way? Or what if we could change that? And when this thought takes shape and we are saying it out, we actually bring it into being, because other beings are hearing it. And now we are forced to deal with something that already exists. That's why Bible identifies this process like being halfway into being. And if things are set out, now the plan or action can follow. Plan can be formulated, or other people can pick up the idea, make their own plans, or act the word or idea. So actually words are much more dangerous than nuclear weapons, because words are used to deceive millions and billions of people. And today we are witnessing like unprecedented transformation of the social behavior and understandings, and it's all done by words, shifted words. Words have been shifted from their original meaning, and they have been given a new meaning that is often contradictory to their original meaning. That is how people are misled. That is how the world is ruled. And words are used also to give illusions, to paint something white that is actually black. And that is why the Word of God is very clear on the matter that you cannot mislead other people with words. And that is why demand is placed on man to use authentic words, not to contradict, not to deceive, not to give false meanings, but to be always truthful. What you say must be what actually is. It must correspond to reality. And it has to correspond to the spiritual reality. It has to correspond to actual reality in our lives, in our soul, and in our mind. And it has to correspond also to social reality in which we live and have our being. Now, words of power are ultimately connected to reality. And if they are not connected to reality, they do not have power. We can label them empty, because words can also be viewed as containers. Word is a container, and if it's not filled with something, it is just an empty container, like an empty barrel. And we all know what is said about empty barrels, that they are just giving out loud noise without delivering anything. Well, words are designed to carry something, and this can can be used positively or negatively. When we are blessing someone or wishing well, we are actually encouraging something in someone, and we are saying out the desirable future. We are mapping out the desirable future. We actually are using the words to shape out what kind of future we really desire this person or this thing to have, or ourselves to have. And the cursing is based on the same technique. And it doesn't differ very much on this case, because it also maps out desirable future, but in a negative way. So that is why we have an obligation from God to bless, not to curse, because we are created to be a blessing, not a curse. And anyway, the world is created so that, for example, foxes and deer and wolves and all other animals and fish, they cannot utter things that will shape their reality, but men can. Men can utter words and bring about things that actually shape our reality. And as you very well know, words can lift you up and words can destroy you. If we are referring to destruction, rather often we are thinking that, well, if we're speaking about destruction, it must be negative. No, it doesn't have to be. You can be destroyed by the truth, but you can also be lifted up by the truth. So it very much depends on how the truth is presented. That's why it is said that present your complaints in the form of compliments. Okay, that's really true. Because if someone says, well, you're nothing, you can't do anything, you really failed on this and that one, you don't want to listen to that person. But if someone said, well, this was extraordinary, this was good, but it would be even better if you did it in this and that way, well, to that person you listen most often. Words that have power are based on reality and on truth. And they also are based on connection with something higher than you. You must, these words, and you as a speaker, must be connected to the ultimate source of all words, which is God. If you are not connected to God and His word, and not based on this word, then actually there's no power. It's just wishful thinking. We can produce all kinds of words, and they doesn't mean anything. Okay, and so we are obligated by the Bible and by the Word of God to say things that are actually very specifically targeted, and we are not to use our words carelessly. So when we are saying something, we need to take care that our words would reflect the reality, and that they would be used to stop the evil and to counteract the bad things, and to produce and encourage good things, to bring good things, God things, blessing into being. And that refers also, that goes back to our children, that goes back to our kids. We must surround them with good words. We must greet them before they come into this world. We must say to them while they are in the womb of a mother, you are welcome. We love you. You are expected. You are going to do good. You are going to be a blessing. You are going to be blessed. It will be well with you. Okay, and it's not that we need to unnecessarily or just push them up or make them something that they're not, or just mislead them with our good words. No, absolutely not. But we must encourage them. You can do this. You can overcome. You are able to do this. I have faith in you. I know you can do it. I know you will make it. And so these are the words we need to say. And that's the same with ourselves. If we are in crisis, we need encouraging words. We need somebody to lift us up, and it's the same thing with social things. We need to speak the truth. As a citizens, we have a responsibility. We need to speak up when we see the king is naked. It's our duty to speak up, because truth must be uttered, because truth makes us free. But we need to take great care as to how to present the truth, because truth in a wrong way is used by the devil to destroy. Truth in a God's way is merciless in the diagnosis of the things, but he always presents a way out. Like Jesus in the Revelation, when he speaks to the churches, he always says, well, you have this and this and this and this problem, and the diagnosis is merciless. It's accurate, it's complete. But then he presents a way out. Okay, and then he says, if you do this, this, and this, then what kind of a blessing, what kind of a future you will have. So words are actually like missiles. Words are like mortar rounds or something. They have explosive powers. If you release the words, people can go mad. Masses of people can go crazy about your words, and words can cause empires to fall. So, what kind of words are we talking about? So, when we're talking about the words as God intended them, God's words are always true in every aspect, in every time, in every condition. And he says we need to shape our words in accordance to his words, so that our words, we would speak his words as like his words, so that we would not invent something which he didn't say. We would not shift the meaning of the words. It's always truthful. It has to be accurate, and it has to be filled with good intent. It's always with mercy. It's always with grace. It's always with encouragement, or it's always with truth. Even sometimes bitter truth is much, much better, than a sweet lie. So words of power actually get their power from the one who has power. And the flawless connection, the flow of his presence in our lives gives our words the power we need. Because every other power is just quite meaningless. It will fade away. It can be pushed up to mean something in this current time, or in this current society, but it will fade very, very quickly. But those words that are true, that are based on God's truth, that they are connected with reality that we live in, that's the same, that's in accordance to every law there is, every mechanism that is built into time and space and being into that surrounds us. Okay, and so that's why these words have eternal bearing, and that is why we need to start to evaluate what we produce. How are we talking? What are we releasing? The first things to one of the first things to learn about words is just to shut up. Just shut up and start to listen to yourself and start asking, why am I speaking what I'm speaking? And start to control what comes out of our mouth, because many of us are living in the destruction created by our own words, in the relationships, in every other thing. And so God created words to be a blessing. He created us in his image. And so we must be careful with words, and we must use words with power, with authority, with love, with mercy, with grace, so that our words would build up, so that our words would encourage, and so that they would be a blessing, and they would make us a blessing to our people and the whole creation around us.